I am stuck in work, and I am going to do the controversial mommy tag because I was tagged by Emily from Emily Charlotte Vlogs. If you don't know her, go and check her out. I'll put her link in the description below. I thought I'd answer the questions. I've not really prepared anything, so I'm probably going to babble like I do. I'll try and get through them quite quickly. Question number 1. I'm more pro-choice. Personally, I don't think I could go through an abortion, but I thoroughly understand that there are people who get pregnant sometimes in the most unfortunate and undeserving circumstances, and they just are in no position to go through the full pregnancy and have the baby. I understand that. It's not something I think I could do myself, but definitely a pro-choice person here. It's something I wanted to do, and I tried. I had one of the proper slings, I had one of the wrap slings, and I managed it a couple of times, but I also have a bad back, so failed a lot with it. I'd kind of carry Erin for a while and then would just go, oh no, somebody else needs to have her because I can't walk. So yeah, it doesn't work for me. I know people who are very good at it. I know people who can have 3 children on them, and I don't understand how it works, and I wish I could do it. But at the same time, I love my buggy. I love going out and having somewhere to put stuff and carry stuff on, not have it all kind of bundled all over me. So I'm not a baby wearer, but I do love the idea of having that little bundle there, but it just didn't work for me. Couldn't do it. Rubbish back. Circumcision. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think if it's done for a medical reason, fair enough. I think if it's done just for vanity, I don't really get it. I don't think I could ever take Arthur in and just have somebody kind of, you know, take an axe to his winky. I'd feel quite bad. All for it. I mean, yeah, if you don't have the capability of looking after a child that you've had, then if there's somebody else out there who can and who is willing to and who desperately wants a child but for some reason or another can't, yeah, absolutely. I should have had an adopted brother or sister. My parents, after me, had a number of ectopic pregnancies and miscarriages, and then went for the adoption process, and got very far into it, but then hit a very ridiculous barrier, which I won't go into now, but there was an excuse given as to why we couldn't adopt, which was just pathetic, to be fair. So I'm definitely for adoption. I think maybe the process of adopting should be easier. I don't know if that's the right term either, because obviously those that are giving the children for adoption need to ensure that the people having them are more than capable of looking after them and more than prepared for it. But in our case, I mean, they already had 1 child. I was doing all right. I was alive. I was well. I was happy. Somebody made the decision that my parents weren't appropriate. So yeah, there is a bit of negativity towards the system from me, I guess. But I'm definitely for adoption. I know people who have adopted and have the most beautiful children and are so happy. So yeah, for it. Baby piercing, against. I don't like it. I don't think you should cause any child pain for vanity reasons until they are old enough to make that decision themselves. I don't know, and I don't think it looks right. I mean, it's definitely everyone to their own. This is the whole point of this controversial tag. But yeah, why would you want to hurt your child to make them, I don't even think it looks pretty, but to make them look prettier in your opinion. Here's the stickler. Both of mine were formula fed. I made the decision very early on, I think, in Arthur's pregnancy, that I wanted to bottle feed. I wanted to be able to let other people feed him. And I know that you can express and all of that. I know that there are ways that you can bottle feed with breast milk. But for me, formula was an easier option. And I've had lots of stick about it. Don't worry, people have given me their opinion that breast is best, and I'm well aware of that. But both of mine are pretty healthy. They've not really had any problems. They've never really been really poorly children. They've done all right. And I was a formula-fed baby. I mean, that could explain a lot. But yeah, I don't see a problem. Not a fan. Again, I don't see the point of causing children pain. I just think spanking is teaching a child to use physical violence if they're upset or angry or have been hurt by someone. I don't see what it teaches them other than that. I mean, obviously they're probably going to stop doing what they were doing because they don't want to get hurt. But at the same time, I think if you instill that, you know, if you're naughty, you get hit, then it's in their head that if somebody else is naughty, they have the right to hit them. I don't like it. I think there are plenty of other disciplinary methods that you can use to teach your child right and wrong and how they should behave. We never set out to co-sleep with either of our children, but somehow it's happened a few times, whether it just be that they've crawled into the bed or they've needed a night feed and we've got them in and then we've fallen asleep and they've fallen asleep. So it's happened, and I can see why people would do it, because there is nothing lovelier than having your little one snuggle up to you at night. And I think it's very calming for both mother and child, and probably father and child. I've never been a father, I don't know. But at the same time, co-sleeping with mine, the biggest pain in the ass ever, because Erin is just the world's biggest fidget. So yeah, you co-sleep with mine and you get kicked in the face and the stomach and pinched and hit and then headbutted, and yeah, it's not good. She ended up in the bed last night with me because Arthur woke up. Arthur rolled on a toy last night and scratched his back. So he woke up crying, wanted to go downstairs with Liam, but he was crying so much that he woke Erin. So I went and got Erin, got her in bed with me, gave her a bottle. We both fell asleep. The boys ended up both falling asleep downstairs. Really, really good bedtime last night. 4 o'clock in the morning, Erin fidgeted so much that she fell out of bed. So co-sleeping doesn't really work very well in my household, but like I say, I can definitely see why people would do it. As long as it is a safe environment. I think as long as you are a light sleeper and not drunk and not been smoking and all of those sorts of rules, then absolutely give those kiddies a cuddle. To be fair, I think it's all fine. I think as long as the child is getting the education they need, they know how to read and write and add up and multiply and the basics of the world and how it works, fine. Mine will both probably end up going to public school because we don't have the money or the friends in the high circles to send them to private school. And I hope they'll do fine there. They seem to be doing, I mean, Arthur seems to be doing all right in nursery. That's a public one. Totally for it. I don't see why you wouldn't want to protect your child from things that you can protect them from. And I think if you're one of those people that listens to all the hearsay about, you know, it causes this, it does this, just look at the amount of people who've been immunised and who don't have any of those things that it supposedly causes. Why would anyone want to give a child something that is going to be detrimental to them? I don't get it. I don't understand people that don't. Not only, it's that thing that not only are they risking their own children, they're risking everyone around them. Because if their child gets ill with something that can be prevented, there is then a chance that they will give it to children who have not yet been immunised because they are too young or who were unable to receive it for one reason or another. Protect the herd. Protect the herd. Yeah, I mean, mine will have Calpol when they need to. Erin, when she went through that stage of being really poorly with that rash, I think had every type of medication she could. She had antibiotics and antihistamines and anti-inflammatory things and everything. If it's going to make them better, yes. Why wouldn't you? If I'm feeling ill and I've tried drinking water and all that sort of stuff, then I will take headache tablets or painkillers or something to try and stop me feeling poorly. I would do the same for my children. Makes sense, doesn't it? Does it not? I am all for disposable. Liam and my mum, I think, when we were pregnant, both kind of looked at the idea of disposable nappies, and we sat down at all the baby shows and had a look through them and how they work and what you have to do. And actually, to be honest, it seemed like a much bigger ball ache. I, for one, don't like the idea of adding to your washing, because there is enough to do when you have a child who makes a mess of their clothes. Then throwing in dirty, pooey bits of cloth in every load just didn't appeal. That and carrying dirty things around with you all day, and there's just so many reasons I wasn't going for it. Another one that's not for me. I know people that do it and it works so well for them, particularly with bedtime routines and things. I just couldn't. If I hear them crying, I run to them. It's just a natural thing. And we tried it very briefly when Arthur went through a stage of just waking up and crying for kind of no reason. We tried to leave him for 5 minutes or so, and by that point I was crying and he was crying and I was getting stressed, and I couldn't let him do it. It just didn't work for us. But like I say, my best mate used it and they have an amazing bedtime routine and it works perfectly for them. But yeah, I'm just rubbish. Couldn't do it. Couldn't leave them crying. I felt too bad and ended up in the same state myself. That is it. I've covered them quite quickly, I think. I probably need to do some editing now. But yeah, I hope I've not offended anyone with anything I've said. If I have, I'm very sorry. It is all a matter of opinion, these things are, but it's sometimes nice to hear other people's opinions. And on that note, there are a couple of mums I would like to tag to do this themselves. I'd love to hear your opinions. If you have already done it and I've missed it, I'm really, really sorry. Do it again, why not? So I would like to tag the two Lisas. That is Lisa Robb from Our Little Big Family and Lisa from A Little Bit Lisa. Might start calling you both the two little Lisas. I will tag them both below. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. I hope I've not offended too much. See you later.